Can y'all see me? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into another multiverses video. I wanted to take the time to talk about it and just share some ideas with you guys, and hopefully you guys like what you guys see on the screen as far as the characters. And I put it together some ideas in a photo grid, just a little bit of a collage, something different, just to talk about for multiverses and more ideas, and maybe some items that I picked and came up with off the top of my head, and maybe something that you guys can probably list some cool items yourself in the comments, maybe even some characters. And let's open up the doors to more licenses, and where it's not just a hero from a DC universe or someone from a cartoon. How about some horror icons? And I didn't even know these guys were actually owned by Warner Bros. Freddy Krueger and Pennywise. And just think of some of the abilities, even if they don't have to be in the game, even if they're not going to end up making it into the game as a roster for future DLC, maybe they can get some iconic items from those movies and cartoons, from those TV shows, and maybe Freddy Krueger's razor fingers, for example, that could be probably used as a perfect example, where you can have a character just pick them up, and they can have like razor fingers and inflict additional damage on their opponent, just things like that, for example. And maybe from Pennywise balloon that you can use to float. And even if he's in the game, that would be cool. Once you select them, we all float. You'll float too, or something like that. Just some things that they could say when you pick that certain character off the character selection screen, something additional, some cool little dialogue and something like that. Even for like Buzz Bunny, if he gets picked, and what's up, Doc? You say something like that. It's like, or something. That could be some kind of item, just some kind of item in the game as well. But I'm going to talk about those in just a little bit. But just opening up those different doors and having different characters from movies and iconic TV shows and cartoons. It doesn't have to be a hero. It doesn't have to be a Marvel superhero or anything like that. It can be someone that we know and recognize from a horror movie like Freddy Krueger and Pennywise. That's why I put them on here. And then I went as far as bringing up Lunatics and just different. If you guys watch that, Lunatics Unleashed was a show with all the different Looney Tunes. They had Buzz Bunny, Daffy Duck as Danger Duck. They had Lola Bunny, Taz, who was called Slam. You can get all these different characters from that show. Maybe since, okay, so Daffy Duck is not in the game, that's okay. Maybe they can just pick up his lunatic version of him and get Danger Duck added into the roster. You see what I'm saying? So they can see how they can expand. Oh, that certain Looney Tune is not in the game. They can go and reach upon that world of that TV show or the TV series of Lunatics and get those other characters into the game. So that'll be some kind of idea. So that's just one of them. That's the Roadrunner from Lunatics. That's the Roadrunner. He's so different, and their personalities are very different because they all talk. And just when you know from the Roadrunner, just saying me, that's all he says. But in Lunatics, he has his own voice. He has his own voice lines and his own dialogue, and he can talk. So, and I just brought on Joker for my little collage here, just because I have Batman and Harley Quinn. What about some encounters? What about some unique encounters for story mode and stuff like that? They can put those into the game where you can unlock those certain characters. Maybe Joker could be a secret hidden character or some kind of DLC, and he can eventually meet up with Harley Quinn and have a special dialogue with her, where they're almost going to reunite, but they end up fighting each other and having a fallout. And then Joker and Batman going at it as usual with one of his nemesis, one of his biggest enemies or the biggest antagonist in the world of Gotham or the city of Gotham and stuff like that. Mr. Freeze. What about some of those other villains? They can have them added into the character roster. And Freakazoid is right next to Joker if you don't know who that is. And as my little additional character I added to the collage. And it's a old Cartoon Network show that used to air. It used to come on super early in the morning too. So I don't know if anyone recognizes Freakazoid with the intro, Freakazoid, Freakazoid, Freakazoid. It's more to it, but for the song, for the intro. But it's just so much more that they can add. And see, they can go way back in time from characters like Freakazoid to have his own unique moveset and get him into the fight. You see, and maybe it's just their own story mode. Just like I said, have us unlock these characters. Don't make them all available. Let's have us earn these characters in story mode, unique encounters, and run into these horror icons if they manage to get them. like Pennywise or something like that, or Freddy Krueger, and make those characters get in. But who is to say who isn't going to get in and who could possibly end up getting into this game? Because now that with this a game as big as this, they can get almost any character that they want and from their desire, even from video games and other stuff like that. We already know they're going to have a Mortal Kombat character because it's a Warner Bros. Game and it's MultiVersus. So that's probably going to be one of the first DLC characters right off the bat, a Mortal Kombat character like Scorpion or Sub Zero or something like that. But now let's talk about the little items real quick. We got the cape next to Freakazoid, and what I didn't just pick them, but I'm just gonna also just elaborate about them. See how we have Robin's cape? They can even get Batman's cape or somebody else's cape or something like that. Robin's cape, even if he's not a character in the game, you can use Robin's cape to float and get back into the fight. A cool little recovery item where you can float a few seconds, almost similar to how I was saying with maybe Pennywise's red balloon that you can hold on to, and just try to glide across the screen to get back onto the stage. So say if that certain character doesn't have a good recovery move, they can just have that cape to help them out to give them that extra boost that they need, that certain boost that they need to get back onto the stage for Robin's cape. And now I'm just gonna have a couple recovery items that I just brought out. Bugs Bunny's carrot. So if you have a character and that's running low on health or you're almost about to get launched off the stage, you could quickly run to that carrot to get a little bit of recovery. So that way you can be able to take a few additional hits for the fight and it can help you benefit, and maybe the first player that picks it up can grab him. I'm not saying he's going to be in the game. This could be something that could be utilized as an item system from Super Smash Bros. Something like that. See how they got all those different ones like the heart container from Zelda? They can do something like that with these items where you can get potential health. And say for example, this is just a little additional idea. If Bugs Bunny grabs the carrot, he receives an additional double bonus health of the carrot. And then Tom and Jerry's already in the game. That cheese right next to the carrot, they can get more benefits off of it, and they can recover. I'm not maybe that would be a little bit unfair, but just a little idea. Maybe even if they don't add that little bonus, if you're using that specific character from that exclusive item from that show or movie and or video game series, you can get more from that particular health item. From the cheese for Tom and Jerry, and then trying to grab it, and then the just race to the make a beeline for it when you're trying to beat everybody else to it. It could be something used like that. Batman's Batarang, where you can just throw it and it can come back to you. It can move and function just like the boomerang in Super Smash Bros. When you throw it, it comes right back, and you can use it a few times before it disappears. So you know what I'm saying? And then I also do just last but not least, the Scooby Snacks for Shaggy. He can grab them and maybe it can probably boost his attack or something like that, or maybe it'll not only recover, but he'll have exclusive hidden effects for these items. You see, they can specialize from those exclusive items with those characters from those shows if they get access to them and get their hands on them. So if you go up against that particular player that's using them and you see that item, you don't want them to grab it before you do, so they won't get those extra benefits. See, so that's just a little bit of an idea, just some ideas I put together with items that can implement a story mode, dream encounters with some of these characters, with horror icons running into cartoon characters, and just crossing over to those different universes in those different worlds. They can open up so many doors with this game. So that's why I wanted to come out with a little video just to discuss it. Let me know some items that you guys would like to see added into this game, even more characters for a wish list, possibly, maybe some horror icons, even if they're not from Warner Bros. Who's to tell who's we don't know who can probably possibly get in. I think anybody can be in this game from any sort of video game series.